I am here to talk about my favorite albums of the year. This list was extrememly hard for me to make, and I feel bad because this whole past few months, I was like, I'm not making this video until I listen to JID's album, God Does Like Ugly. And when did that album come out, first of all? I feel so bad. That album came out in August. I kind of remember that now. I am cheating just a little bit, because I have my top 10 albums of the year. And then we've got some honorable mentions, and there's a lot of those. So we're going to get to those after my main list. I'm also going to kind of lie right now. Just looking at my number one album, I'm going to say that I'm not putting these in any particular order. I think except for number one, maybe. But then I'm starting to think about what I have listed as number 7, and I'm like, you're lying. So no particular order, kind of, sort of, maybe, yes, but no, but also yes, but no. So to start the list off, my first album of the year is That's Showbiz Baby by Jade. If you don't know, Jade is a member of the group Little Mix, and I know they're kind of doing their own things right now. I'm thankful. Okay, I do really like Little Mix. They tend to veer on the bubblegum poppier side sometimes, and I'm kind of not hugely into that. But even still, with the artistry of someone like Jade, it just, oh my God, the way that screams in this album, and she just dropped a deluxe edition, which might actually maybe be better than the initial album. Jade just knows what she's doing. I get that sense from her heavily within this album. She is going to be a huge name in pop music, in my opinion, just as a solo artist. She has such a clear vision, and it reminds me of Lady Gaga when she came out with The Fame, and how very specific she was, and you can feel the intention behind the aesthetic and the messaging of the album, and just the videos and the performances and everything, outfits, the styling, everything about the era just feels very much on purpose and also manifested. And you can feel that heavily with Jade like you could with Lady Gaga when she released her first albums. That's Showbiz Baby is probably gonna be considered as one of my favorite pop albums just beyond this year. Jade just knows what she's doing. She knows how to craft a perfect pop song and blend that into just a whole entire experience. Just in case I do decide to do a whole video for Jade, I'm gonna tell you, Midnight Cowboy, that is what got me hooked. I'm looking at this track list and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to do a separate video for That's Showbiz Baby, so I'm going to save my thoughts and opinions for that one. Number 2 on my list for this year is Moisturizer by Wet Leg. Now, I just released a video that goes in depth into my thoughts on a moisturizer, but I freaking love the album. Freaking love it. Replay value is insane. Kind of going off of what I said in my video for this album, Wet Leg just does weird so well, and just surrounded by these heavy guitars that carry us through the album in the most insane way. And it makes so much sense to pair the weirdness of the lyrics of I'm in love, and that it's crazy, with the instrumentation of the album just being very indie sleaze-ish and just kind of rock heavy-ish, but pop rocky, kind of indie, that sort of thing. What am I doing with my hands? It's so exciting to listen to. I get so happy when I'm listening to this album just because it gives me so much energy and rejuvenation, and I can relate to the lyrics, and it's disgusting, and I love it. The whole entire project, there's no skips for me, and I'm deeply obsessed with the type of music that came out of Moisturizer, And so I know I'm going to go into 2026 still replaying this one like crazy. The next album that I have on my list is Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party by Hayley Williams. I had to include this album. Hayley Williams, I think she knows her power, but I don't know if she understands it. 'Cause that woman, her voice, her presence, her honesty, oh, just diving into her relationship with her bandmate and the aftermath of that breakup and what that feels like. True Believer is one of my favorite songs of the year. I love the way the album was kind of released, essentially, with it being her dropping things on a website, I think, if I can remember that correctly. I don't know, it's been such a long year. She didn't go about the release of the songs in a traditional way, just throwing it on streaming and whatnot. She actually released a single, Metrazapine, on the radio. And that was the first time we all like heard the song. And that's so fucking cool to me, how she just went about the release. The album is very like I'm in a room and I'm just venting my feelings in that sort of way. It's so just introspective, and Hayley really lets you in on what she's thinking and how she's feeling about certain things. Hayley is just everything too, honestly. The next album on the list is Don't Tap That Glass by Tyler, the Creator. I re-listened to this album today. When I tell you, I had all the energy that I needed to get through my day. I had to refrain from dancing at work. I don't even know where to start. It's like, is it better than Chromacopia? Does it make me want to dance and have a good fucking time? 1000%. I feel like I either saw or read an interview where Tyler was just like, hey, I'm just going to release this thing. I'm not going to do the whole album rollout thing. Like, this is done. So I'm just going to drop it. And I just want to dance and have a good time. And that's clearly the mission and the vision here. And he accomplished that so well with this album. I love all the samples, especially in Big Poe and I'll Take Care of You, which is also one of my favorite songs of this entire year. The Knuck If You Buck sample, that just takes it by itself. And I don't care if there's barely any lyrics from Tyler in the song, like extensively. I don't care. I don't care. I'm obsessed with I'll Take Care of You. Ring Ring is so catchy. I hear Off the Wall by Michael Jackson and Saturday Love in that bass line. Trying to distinguish like which song that's kind of taking the root from is so cool to me. Sugar on My Tongue is so much fun too. It's just the whole thing is up here. It's another great energy booster. The next album is Lux by Rosalia, which is probably not a surprise if you saw that video that I made. Beautiful, stunning, gorgeous tears, crying. And I say that I cry and almost cry so much on this fucking channel. Lux is the prime example of that. Rosalia, such a stunning voice. Her voice is so gorgeous. Oh my God. And just pairing that with the orchestral instrumentation in the album and her, just like I said in the video, just being in her own lane, doing her own thing, and extensively just beautiful, beautifully painted canvas with flowers and hills and colors and butterflies and dragonflies and unicorns and people elegantly dressed with wine and grapes. And just, that's what I'm getting, because it's an experience. It's beautiful. It's cinematic. It's in your face. It's just a story. Like, it's such, it's an insanely beautiful album. The next album is Lil Fantasy Volume 1 by Chaeryeong from Twice. She surprised the living shit out of me. I think I checked out Avocado first. I was like, what is this? I was not expecting this alt R&B sort of feeling from her. I know when idols do their own thing, there's a good chance that it's going to be different as fuck from what they do in their group. But she genuinely sounds like an indie artist from the US, from like California or some shit. Like it took me by surprise. Shoot is always stuck in my head. I'm always singing that song to myself. Band-Aid. Listen to Band-Aid. And then Downpour. There's so many shocking things in this album that I was not expecting. She sounds like an indie artist. The Crux by Joe is next on my list. This album is why I said I don't know if I'm doing this in order or not of how I listed them. Because if that's the case, then no, we're not going in order, because there's no way in hell The Crux would be further down in my list. This is probably my most listened to album of the year. Fun fact, Potion from this album is my most listened to song this year, followed by Anticipate by El Michelle's Affair and Clairo. I miss Clairo. Please drop something next year. Joe is my most listened to artist this year. Then we have Mac Aries, and then Tame Impala, Clairo, The Marias, Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, Cleo Sol, Jade, Still Woozy, Erykah Badu, Justin Bieber, Shiny, SZA, and Sabrina Carpenter. He's my most listened to artist of this year for a reason. I am obsessed with all of his albums. Everything. I'm here. I love him. So I don't want to say too much in this video, but just know that The Crux is just so also very easy to replay and to jump into. And it gives you this feeling of, I'm watching a live performance and I'm having the greatest time of my life, pretty much. Especially with the song like Link and Delete You. Like, those songs just make me feel like I'm this close to the stage and he's right here singing, and I'm just jumping around and dancing and sweating and just singing and losing my voice and just having the best time. And I really appreciate that feeling a lot. Most of the songs, and I'm looking at the deluxe version of The Crux, most of the songs are favorited. So yeah, would this be number one on my list overall? Maybe. I don't know. That Showbiz Baby is putting up a good fight, so that's why I'm like, I don't want to put things in order. The next album is Beautiful Chaos by Cat's Eye. I am still working on my video for Dream Academy as well, so I'm going to be posting that when I'm done rewatching the series, and I'm also writing notes too, so that'll be out in the near future. I, for weeks, could not stop listening to not just this EP, but I was gonna say all of their discography, but they have like 3 songs right now. Of course, it's more than that, but I'm just saying they don't have a lot of songs, which is why I'm like, for weeks, I was hooked on their music. For me to just be playing their stuff over and over and over and over again is crazy. I will say I did not care for Gnarly at first, but now I walk around the house mentally or out loud just singing Hottie Hottie like a bag of Takis. I'm the shit. I'm excited to see where they go musically, and I just hope that they don't get stuck in a gnarly box. That's a sentence. I hope they still allow themselves to branch out in terms of their singles. I am, what are they called? An icon? I think. I think I'm one of those. I think that's safe to say. Next on the list is Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson. Pop heavy. Very pop heavy list, I know. I was waiting on this album heavily. Midnight Sun, the song. Again, if you want to have a good time, that's one of the ones. I still need to get deeper into Zara Larsson, to be fair, but I just feel like she might be a Tinashe situation where she's crazy talented, but she doesn't have the attention that she should have. Midnight Sun is an example of that. And she talks about that in one of her songs. The ambition, I completely understand where she's coming from in her lyrics with that one. Puss Puss, I say that. I sing that song a lot in my head because it's so catchy. Hot and Sexy, Girls Girl, Euro Summer. Please. Again, one of those songs that'll literally boost your entire mood, gives you more aura. I can't stop using the word fun, but this album is so much fun to listen to and just to have a good time to again. I think that might be a reoccurring theme. Well, I'm looking at Ego Death and I'm like, I don't know now. I don't know. Because I was going to say, like, having fun might be a theme to my top albums. But then you have Ego Death. Yeah, so Midnight Sun, just I was going to say so much fun, but then I was going to say something about rhyming and dad jokes, and I need to stop talking in a few minutes. The next album is The Provocateur by Adele. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. The Provocateur. The Provocateur. The Provocateur. Again, I feel like I've said this before in a video. I think so. Adele is also, along with Jade, going to, I feel like, lead us in our new era of pop music. And I say that because very similarly also to Jade, Adele has a clear vision of what she's trying to do. Her addressing how she felt during her time in, Pop Star Academy, along with the members of Cat's Eye, was very well addressed, and it was addressed in a way that perfectly kind of portrays things through her eyes in a way that is very direct. It's not messy or anything. Or it's just this is my experience and I'm going to talk about it. And rightfully so. It's just when you're that established with your sound and with your aesthetic and with your messaging, one album in, where are you going? And I mean that in the best way. Where are you going? What are you doing with that? And how are you going to grow as an artist? It's so beautiful to see how these artists will just sit down and figure out their sound, figure out what they want to do, what they want to say, how they want to look, how they want to come across, and the things that they want to address, and the people whose hearts they want to touch. Like, they have such just an ideal and goals that they're setting one album in. I think of Chappell Roan as well when I say something like that. Again, where are you going? Machine Girl, especially the video, just artistry. Home Wrecked, Death by Devotion, Finally Apologizing. Like, the whole album is just stellar. Her and Jade, they're both really seriously going places, and they are going to help to open the genre up to new sounds, new ideas, and I'm very happy for the pop space. Those were my top 10 albums, and all of these, I love them all deeply. There were so many albums this year that I listened to and I genuinely liked. Making the list was just so hard. So these albums that I'm about to list as my honorable mentions, they're the reason why making my albums list was pretty hard because, again, we had so many good releases this year, and I didn't list everything that I liked because then my honorable mentions list would be like 30 albums deep. I don't even know if I listened to that many albums that were released this year. I don't know. But here we go. So, in absolutely no particular order, we have Mayhem by Lady Gaga, Swag by Justin Bieber, Soft Ear by Eve, Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips, Fancy That by Pink Panthers, Club I Carcass by Artemis, Lola Young, I'm Only Myself, and The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean. Now, could any of these albums swap for me personally at some point? Either at the end of this year or next year? Sure. Sure. I mean, out of this list, I'm about to lie to y'all because I'm looking at the list and I'm like, out of this list, my favorite of the honorable mentions is, and I can't even tell you what that is because I'm not picking one. I'm not doing that. It's hard to pick who I would put where if I were to swap something out of my top 10. Which, again, is why, like, making this list was so hard because there's so many good albums. And then there's also the fact that I was like, there's probably so many other albums that I'm missing, whether it be, well, no, because if I'm missing it, then it would have made my top 10. I'm just saying I wouldn't miss something because it should be in my top 10. But for the honorable mentions, I'm still sitting like, yo, there could be an album or two or three or four or five or six that I forgot came out this year that I meant to put on that list. And I was just sitting there scrolling through my Apple Music and I was like, let me go through all of these from this year. And I was like, girl, no, put that video out. Like, record the video, put it out. I will be sitting here trying to debate and decide on who to put where and why and how until 2026. So I was like, girl, no, girl, record the damn video and put it out because, But yeah, that was my overall list for this year. Tell me some of the albums that made it on your personal list because I want to know. I will take those with me into 2026 because I think I'm going to be chilling with some of the albums that are in my top 10. And also Christmas music, because I need to get some of that in before the Christmas season goes. So, yes, I'm pretty sure I'm going to post this before Christmas, I believe. But, oh, wow. Yeah, just in case this is my last video of the year. Just in case. It might not be. I'm not sure yet, but I'm kind of getting emotional because I'm so thankful and beyond grateful for all of you that have subscribed and liked my videos and left me any comments. I am so beyond grateful to all of you, and I thank you so much for absolutely everything. Again, if this is my last video of the year, I just want to say happy holidays, happy everything that you celebrate, and happy new year. Like the video, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. My name is Rain, and I will talk with all of you in the next video. Bye! My memory I started off this video talking about how I didn't want to make this video until I listened to JID's album, and then I forgot to talk about it, so it didn't make my list. I liked it. I just think the Forever Story is better. But when I replay it, I'm probably going to be like, I should have included it. But it's okay. It's okay. I need to get the video out.